Hello and good morning to a wonderful new Saturday and new Sunday even. Gosh, what an amazing week it's been. Everything just seems to be moving so fast and so swiftly. So today I wanted to build on something that some of you may have watched yesterday, which was Rita's wonderful video about prayer and Shreya. Now, I'm going to give you a really quick summary for those of you that didn't watch Rita's summary yesterday. And essentially, these are two Sanskrit principles that help us to decide what we do. So in summary from Rita's talk yesterday, prayer is the choices that we make that feel really good initially. They're kind of quite sweet to the taste. You know, it's that kind of really nice kind of tasty croissant that you had at the cafe. You know, it's the thing that kind of you really, really enjoy eating or doing. But in the long run, it's not taking you in your chosen direction. Shreya, on the other hand, is the opposite. It's bitter when you first start. It's that extra mile. It's the, oh gosh, do I really have to go through this? But it is taking you to your ultimate destination of freedom, and whatever that is for you. Now, when you've got those two choices, you have to have a reason to make one choice or the other. If you don't have a goal or a vision in mind, then essentially you will just go for what feels and tastes good. The prayer side, okay? Whereas if you actually have a longer term vision where you can cope with delayed gratification, then essentially you can move towards something that's going to be really helpful for you in the long run. So you need that is the first thing that you need in order to make any choice that's going to take you one way or the other way. You need to have a vision. How are you going to, where is it that you want to go? And that's one of the fundamental things that you need to have in your life in general. But it's quite hard, I think, sometimes to know where you're going to end up. It can feel too far in the future. But essentially, I come back also to, who do I want to become? What kind of person do I want to become? And quite often, if I want to become more self-disciplined, if I want to be a better communicator, those can also influence your decisions, not just the material things of, I want a bigger house or I want a better car. No, think about who it is that you want to become and then make your decisions on a daily basis based around those things. Okay, so that's the first point of working with Shreya. But there's also something else that you need. If you really want to make good decisions in your life, there's something that you really, really, really need to do as some way that's going to help you get to where you want to get to. And that is loving the process. That is literally really enjoying the process of getting from A to B. Because let's face it, we're not living in in 100 or 1,000 years time from now where we can teleport from one place to another. We can't just suddenly pick ourselves up and transport ourselves to a beach in the south of France, or in my case, to the rainforests in Madeira, one of my favourite places in the world. So we can't just do that. We can't just get from A to B instantly. We have to enjoy the process. And if you think about travel as an example, when we go from A to B, there's a whole process within that. There's the packing, there's the saying goodbye, there's the cleaning out the fridge. There's also then getting to the airport or getting to the mode of transport. Then there's going through security, then there's having something to eat, making sure that you've got water, getting on the plane, flying somewhere, and then the whole journey and the whole process at the other end. Now that process can either be a real drudgery, or you can actually settle in and enjoy the process. And many years ago, I decided that I was going to really enjoy travel. And it came from my dad, who's watching this morning. Morning, Dad. Because we used to go to Egypt when I was a kid. We used to go to Jordan. We used to fly to all these incredible places. And I just fell in love with that process of travel because it gave me independence, it gave me freedom. It was new and it was exciting. And in that same way, we can enjoy the journey of our life rather than just wishing forever that we were somewhere else, that we were something else. And let me give you a couple of examples of this because, say for example, everyone wants to become rich. I want money. I want loads and loads and loads of money to do whatever I want with. Nice thought, isn't it? Yeah. Great, fantastic. We all want that extra abundance, that richness that comes with having that finance available to us. The thing is that we're not going to just magically, some people are when they win the lottery, but it's highly unlikely that you're going to end up with a couple of £1,000,000 just like that. You actually have to fall in love with the process of earning, of being clever with money. You have to fall in love with that process. And that's when you see these entrepreneurs that are so successful. They've fallen in love with the process of making money. If you want to lose weight, if you want to lose a stone, you can't just shave off that extra stone and put it in the bin. You actually have to fall in love with exercise. We have to fall in love with our diet. We have to fall in love with the process of losing that weight. Then it will come off as a consequence. And then finally, something like communication. I know that so many of us want to be able to speak better, to communicate more effectively with people, to inspire, to uplift. But that comes through practice. You can't just randomly turn up at a friend's birthday party one day and suddenly be the life and soul of the party. If that isn't your way, you have to train yourself to become that new person. And that is the process. So the main message this morning really is, how do we fall in love with that process? And I'm prime example. I've always wanted to be better than I am. I always want to be something more, something better. And in actual fact, it's almost stopping me from becoming that thing that I want to become. Because it's always a yearning, it's always a wanting. And that whole process of wanting something is almost like it's not here now. Does that make sense? I don't know if any of you have been studying things like The Secret, some of those manifestation books that came out a few years ago. But the whole process of pushing something away, of wanting something, means that you are forever wanting. You're not receiving, you're not living in that place. So we have to change our psychology, we have to change our mind to actually enjoy being in this moment. First of all, just literally love being here, love being that incredible soul that you are. And then once you have that love of this particular present moment, how are we then moving forward with our life? How are we loving every single step that we take along the journey? And that's where the prayer and the Shreya that Rita mentioned yesterday come in absolutely beautifully. Because then if you can remind yourself that something that feels really, really good and exciting now might have a little bit of a bitter aftertaste, you might make the different decision then to go with something that's a little bit harder, a little bit more drudgery, like climbing up a mountain rather than walking on the flat. But the view from the top of the mountain is exquisite. And so you get the payoff later, delayed gratification. So I hope that that's been a little bit of an inspiration for you on this beautiful morning. And just a reminder that, of course, for any of your goals, for anything that you want to achieve in your life, yoga, meditation, and pranayama are actually three of the crucial keys that you can use to not only support your physical health, but also your mental, your emotional state, and also to give you the energy and the power and the willpower to be able to step into your life in a more full way. So for those of you that don't know, I'm sure you do, we have an online yoga studio that me and my colleagues from Drew are offering out to the world. So please do check that out at Drew Yoga Online. And of course, we also have many of our upcoming events this week. We've got a live event with Rita on Wednesday, where she'll be looking at the qualities of the sun and of light. So that's going to be really, really, really special and exciting. If you can make that on Wednesday, it will be fantastic. And then we'll see you again also over the Instagrams over these next few days. And of course, keep in touch and let us know how you're getting on in the comments as well. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now.